Kids are out of school this week?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine were out on Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
So day 2.
Yeah. 2 of 11 weeks.
2 of 11 weeks. Any plans? What are you going to do?
I'm going to be stocking up on some cheap drinks and sitting right back here to do them.
Yeah, I'll be doing the same thing on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back to Cheap Drinks and Real Estate. I'm Adam Pearsall with Premier Home and Finance.
Jason Kaufman with the Kaufman Home Group at Heron Real Estate.
Glad to have you guys back for episode 4.
Episode number 4.
All right, well, let's hop right into our cheap drink of the week.
Which, I guess it's not a completely cheap drink, but
we don't really know if it's a cheap drink. This is actually a special edition that we have here. Let's take a look at what we've got. So we have Urban Artifact, Vanilla Key Lime, American Fruit Tart.
And you picked this up from
Brody's. Yeah, so from Brody's Liquor. It's a local distributor here in Jacksonville. They've got 5 locations between St. Augustine and Jacksonville, and St. John's. So stopped in there and saw my guy Kevin. They're right around the corner from my house out at the beach. And Kevin loves Cheap Drinks and Real Estate. Was telling me that he's one of our subscribers and likes to watch, and actually offered us a free 6-pack to review to bring to you guys today. So we're really excited for this. It looks delicious.
It doesn't get much cheaper than free.
But
obviously for the normal paying customer, they're going to have options in there. But I mean, I'm excited to try this drink because it's actually a beer, our first beer.
It is our first beer. And we do know it goes for around $15 for a 6-pack. We kind of looked it up online to figure it out. So somewhere around $14 to $15 for the 6-pack. So not the cheapest of cheap drinks, but free. We're bringing this to you today because we actually are excited to drink this.
And Kevin said that we had to try it out. So
that's right. Yeah. So this is Kevin's recommendation. He's the manager out there at the Ponte Vedra Jacks Beach location of Brody. So stop in there and say what's up to Kevin.
Absolutely.
And let's see what we think.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, we can't talk about it yet. You guys know the teaser. You got to stick around to see what we actually think.
We cannot talk about it. So this is Urban Artifact. I guess they're out of Ohio.
Yep, Cincinnati, Ohio. That's what they said. I guess they're the largest fruit. What did it say? The largest fruit brewer in the world.
Tart brewer or something like that.
Yeah, in the world.
Like 1 million pounds of fruit per year.
Yeah.
That they actually use for their beers. So
yeah. So look them up.
At least something good comes out of Ohio.
Yeah, that's the only good thing that comes out of Ohio.
If you're not familiar with us, I'm a Michigan State fan.
And I'm a Michigan fan. Go Blue, national champs.
And both of us are not big Ohio State fans.
No.
So nothing against the state of Ohio, but yeah, Ohio State.
And we haven't even said if this is a good thing coming out of the state of Ohio.
We'll see.
So we'll see. Yeah.
So before we get to the episode, though.
Okay.
All right. So I know we talked about Taylor Swift and all that stuff in a previous episode. What's your favorite music? Actually, favorite music genre?
So I'm a reggae guy.
Okay.
Believe it or not,
nice.
I'm a beach guy. I live at the beach. You guys have heard me say that before. I'm an island guy. I love the island music, reggae, dub, stuff like that.
Well, I had to throw it out there because I said when Taylor Swift brought out their album for all the Swifties, but in our household, we are huge 21 Pilots fans.
Yep.
Love them. And they have a new episode or a new album coming out tomorrow, which very, very excited about. They've dropped 4 songs so far as of last night, and we're all obsessed with them in our house. So
they're good?
Yeah.
All right.
21 Pilots is amazing.
I like 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been around for a while.
Yeah, and the songs that they've come out with so far have been phenomenal on this album. So
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this week we're going to be talking new construction.
Yep.
Should you have an agent? Should you use their financing? What are the pros and cons of everything? And we'll kind of just jump right into that because it's that time of year right now where it's summertime. Kids are getting out of school. People are going to start moving, selling their house, and buying a new house. You got people coming in from out of state that are looking at resale houses or looking at new build houses and trying to decide what they want to do. And we wanted to make sure that we have a video out there kind of detailing some of the information with regards to new home builds and what to watch for.
Yeah, they make them sound good. They do,
absolutely.
right? The incentives they talk about all sound great. So they, it always seems like a really good option. We get a lot of questions on that, don't we? It seems like all the time.
Absolutely.
Should I go new construction? Should I not? And what are the pros and cons? So that's why we're going to do this today, because there's a lot of information to give on that and a lot of things to consider.
Absolutely. And the first thing is, a lot of people think that you don't necessarily need an agent when you're going into a new home build. Well, number one, there are plenty of reasons to have an agent. I mean, when you go into a new build community and talk to the sales agent, they're amazing people. I'm friends with quite a few new home sales agents. I enjoy my conversations with them. However, you have to remember that they're there working for the builder, not necessarily for you. So you want to make sure that you have your own representation to ensure that you know everything that you're going into when you're looking at new build houses. So having an agent there is definitely a benefit on your side. And it's very important that when you go into a new home build community, you bring the agent the first time, because some of the sales agents will have you sign paperwork or sign a sign-in sheet. And once a realtor is not present with you, they completely cut us out of the whole thing. So we can't even assist in any way.
Right. They can't bring you in later on.
Exactly.
Down the line.
Yeah.
So you have to be there at the beginning. There are a
few out there that still allow you to, but the vast majority kind of cut it out so that you don't have that representation on your side.
Right. And they look at it as saving themselves cost by doing so.
Absolutely.
That's why they do that.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And now with new home builds, you do have the incentives that come along with it. And I know you get a lot of questions on this, because a lot of incentives are tied to going with their financing option.
Right.
Which I know you've dealt with that quite a bit. So give me some of the information like that, I mean, I know they have like where we'll pay $10,000 towards your closing costs, which can be a good thing. However, is that always a beneficial scenario? Yeah,
it's not. So to jump into that, it's not always, it's not cut and dry right from the jump. So you have to get, the original estimate. A lot of times what we'll also see with the new construction homes is they'll require you to be pre-approved through their preferred lender, regardless if you're using outside or not. You have to apply with them just to be pre-approved. It's
to
a way
ensure that they can see that you're actually qualified.
Yeah, and it's a way to get you into the door with their finance guy where they want to drive you. Yeah. Because they ultimately do want you to go in that direction.
Right.
There's benefit for them to that.
Absolutely.
Right. So even though they're incentivizing you, there's an incentive to them for you to use obviously both sides of the company where there's an interest for them. So we do see it. I mean, man, a lot of times it's even up to $15,000. We see quite a bit where there's $15,000 in incentive, right? $15,000 for closing costs, prepaids, and cabinets if you want them. These certain upgrades, all these different upgrades. I mean, we say there's almost too much to list in just in a few minutes. So what you want to do on that is definitely. You have to, if that's what you're interested in, you have to do what they want you to do. So you have to take the step of, okay, I'm going to get pre-approved through their finance company. And then you want to make sure you get that loan estimate. When you're applying for a mortgage, you're always going to get a loan estimate. That's the official document that lays out everything for you, itemized piece by piece. So you know exactly what fees are involved in that, what incentives are involved in that, and you can see it line by line.
Yeah.
And then you can go from there and bring that to, a lender like us, or if there's a lender that you're already working with that you want to work with, take that to them and then see if they can get close to it. Because one of the things that the builders tend to do is those incentives are only available to you if you use the preferred lender.
Correct. But I have seen scenarios where the incentives don't outweigh the benefit of going with your own lending institution, because sometimes you have, it's been in the past, I don't know what it's been recently, but you have quite a few times in the past where they offer you a higher interest rate to make up for that difference. So like say you can get somebody 6.5% and then they're offering incentives, but then you're paying 7% instead of the 6.5%. So it's almost like reverse points that they're actually charging to actually get that.
Yeah. Again, there's so many ways that they can structure it that you almost can't cover it all in a video like this. It can be where the interest rate is higher. Sometimes the interest rate is lower, but the fees are astronomical. So they're offering you these incentives monetarily as $15,000 or $10,000. Sometimes we see them as low as like $5,000, right? So it just kind of depends on what you're getting there, and then what the rate is that they're offering you. And then look, we're going to balance that out. We're going to look at that and say, okay, you have this much in cost. Their fees do tend to be higher on the builder side for sure. They're offering you this, but they're building in a lot more to eat up what they're giving you. So the money's kind of staying in-house either way. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at that. We're going to obviously offer you the best deal that we can give you, you know, like we do up front, and we're going to compare it to what they're offering and see if we can get you there. And at the end of the day, sometimes, and a lot of times really, the builder deal ends up being a little bit of a better deal
but
with that incentive.
And I know for some of my people, you've actually said, no, go with the builder because it's going to make more sense for you. So, I mean, definitely get a second opinion.
Right.
But I mean, somebody like you're going to tell them straight up the truth. I mean, if it's a better deal, go with the other people.
Absolutely. We'll always tell you that. We want you to get the best deal that's out there. You know, we honestly, I mean, we want you to shop. We really do. You hear that, you know, people will say, if you're in the industry, even you hear them all the time, man, I want to stop the shop. You know, that's the goal, is always to stop the shop. You don't want people shopping you around trying to find a better deal. At the end of the day, you should shop. You know, we're confident in what we offer, you know, as a lender, that, hey, we're rock bottom. We don't have high spreads. We want to give you a great deal. Shop it so that you can see how good of a deal that we're giving you. And you should always do that as a consumer. Don't let anybody tell you shouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm big on getting multiple quotes for everything.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. I don't care if it's insurance, right? Your homeowner's insurance, you know, with inspectors that we use and things like that. We're always telling people, hey, look, here's options that we'll give you. You can do this, but you're free to shop for your own, and you should do so.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely you want to make sure that you're lined up with the incentives, understanding the financing aspect, but some other things like with ensuring that you have a proper agent with you in going into these new builds. You're going to want an agent that knows the area, especially if you're coming in from out of town, because if you go into a community and you're like, oh, this looks fantastic, but you don't know what's going on outside of that. You don't know what might be built. Where if you're on the outer edge and it looks like a preserve right then, but you don't know what's going to be built there eventually. You don't want to have that, and then all of a sudden have a shopping complex coming in later on. So having an agent that's actually going to pay attention to what's upcoming in the areas is extremely important.
Yeah, and without an agent, you're going to kind of struggle to know what's been the norm for the last 6 months, right? The last 3 months. I mean, looking that up in a new construction neighborhood is almost impossible to find out what the previous sales were going for. So you don't know if all of a sudden in the last 30 days they've raised prices 10% because they've moved a bunch of inventory, and now they can be, you know, they can ask for more money on this house, or what the scenario is. So we would both agree on that. Even from my side, I would say you always want an agent. It's always a benefit.
Yep, absolutely.
You know?
And I mean, not only that, but knowing the builder quality, the reputation of the builder, because I mean, I know when COVID first hit, I mean, I saw certain builders, I'm not going to name names, but certain builders where they had contracts with people where they were building the house for them for $430,000. COVID came in, everything skyrocketed, and before they could actually close, all of a sudden they start charging you another $100,000. And if you don't like it, you can get lost because they're going to go ahead and sell to the next person. So, and then they also have had situations where they were trying to keep the deposit that they had put after the terms were actually changed in the contract. So,
and those new build deposits aren't cheap.
No.
They're much more than buying an existing house.
It's typically 5 to 10% of the purchase price of the house that you have to actually put down.
So there's a lot more money at risk.
Absolutely. So making sure that you have someone there to know, that knows the contracts, knowing the builder reputation, knowing the quality of construction. I mean, because I mean, we do look at contracts every day with regards to resale houses, new builds, everything like that. So we know what these builders have in there and what to watch out for. Also, once you actually go to close, I've had people where I had one client where they had a contract on the house for $320,000. The appraisal came in at $290,000. The builder was like, well, they're selling across the street for, got an ambulance going by. They're selling across the street in this other community for $320,000, but the appraiser's like, well, they're not this community. So we actually had to negotiate with the builder to bring down the price. Now, the builder came right out front and said, no, we're not going to do that. But after some negotiation back and forth, we were able to do that. So just more reason to have an agent on your side that's going to do that work for you rather than you having to stress about it. So let us put that in our hands. And I mean, that's what we're there for.
And we do love the new build representatives that we know. We do. But we just agree that from a consumer standpoint, it's just better for you to have an agent. Hands down. I couldn't tell you one negative to it.
I'm not saying that they're shiesty. I'm not saying that they're going to try and rake the wool, like run you through the coals and everything like that. But
it's sales.
It's sales. At the end of the day, it's who is representing who.
Right.
So you have to make sure that you have that taken care of. And I mean, I am all for new builds when it's the right time, but resales are always an option as well. You can find some really good prices on almost brand new houses in resale markets. So
right.
knowing your options is very important, and having the agent to do that is the number one priority.
Agreed.
So yeah, that's all I got on that aspect. So make sure that you double check the mortgage. Make sure you have an agent when you go into these new builds. Before you actually go in there, have somebody lined up. Feel free to contact me with any other questions on that aspect.
Yeah, and you can always reach out to me if you have any questions regarding new build and incentives that they may be offering. You know, like I said, we're always going to make sure you're getting the best deal. If that's with the builder, we'll gladly tell you that. But we want you to understand what you're getting into, where those incentives are going, and how much incentive there really is in that incentive.
Yep.
You know, so.
And the biggest thing that we want to make sure of is if it is a true incentive buying this beer.
That is true. Yeah. Okay. So review time, because I got to tell you.
I freaking love it.
Okay.
I love this beer.
Do you? Okay. So it is good. It's way different than I thought it was going to be.
I like sours.
Okay.
I do like sours. And this is possibly one of the best, like, of the unknown drinks that I've ever tried.
You love it.
I love this drink.
I think it's really good. What was the alcohol on it? Do you remember?
6.7%.
6.7%. It's gonna have a kick to it.
It is.
So I mean, great looking can. I like the can.
You pay $15 for a 6-pack of those. You take them to a party. You drink all 6, and you're gonna be pretty well off.
Yeah, it's like a case of Miller Lite.
Exactly.
In the 6-pack.
Yeah.
No, I like it too. I think it's really, really good.
Kevin, great suggestion.
Yes.
On the drink, it was fantastic.
Again,
Kevin Cole at Brody's.
Yep.
And he's at which location?
He's out at the beach.
Okay.
So right at JTB at the corner of right there at 3rd Street.
Yep.
In JTB. So right at the line of Jack's Beach and Ponte Vedra.
Yeah.
So go check him out.
Go definitely stop in there and tell him that Cheap Drinks and Real Estate sent you in.
That's right. Yeah. So it's a buy for me.
It's a buy for me. I like it a lot.
Well, that's it for this week's episode, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Any comments you have, leave them. Any drink suggestions, leave those down below as well.
Yep. And then in the next week, maybe 2 weeks, we're going to be on location somewhere.
We are.
So we've already been talking to a couple places. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have some fun episodes coming up with that.
Yep.
So my name's Jason Kaufman with the Kaufman Home Group at Heron Real Estate.
Yep. And Adam Pearsall with Premier Home and Finance.
Thanks for stopping in. We'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys. Cheers.